Alrighty, boys and girls, good morning. How we doing? Saturday stream. I did sort of mutter that there is the chance of a Saturday stream, and more than... Oh my god, I nearly died. Other than the fact that they dropped a bomb on us yesterday about player housing, finally giving us a little bit of confirmation about what the hell's going on regarding the profession side of it. It's really cool to see. I thought it'd be good to have a little bit of a chat about it today while I kill some rares. That's the main plan, at least, anyway. That's the main plan. Might even empty my mailboxes and see how many Mechanicas we got. See if we can complete the set. What I am going to do just temporarily. So I just want to try something here. Be a little bit more. Chalida, good morning. Did I stock up on old world mats? No, I haven't, no. No. Absolutely not. Okay, so that's interesting. That's showing that two of the mounts are still... Two of the mounts are still set to be listed at like 70k per Mechanica. There's a bit more competition on selling the mounts. And realistically, I want to churn some... Or I want to extract some value out of this farm in the next couple of weeks, just to help cover the cost of all next month's game times, I would imagine. The Nightfall event seems to be fixed. Oh, it's just trash though, innit? I ain't gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother. Taking the safe approach, I bought 1k of almost everything. 1k of nearly everything. I tend to think that there's plenty enough time between now and player housing launching for people to do all of the speculations and material flips and all sorts of silly shenanigans. My focus is going to just be preparation more than anything else, making sure that my professions are in order, in a fashion to where I can learn any of the new recipes. That's basically my goal. Making sure every profession from every expansion is maxed. That's all I really want going into player housing now. That seems somewhat sensible. This dude's got to log in first. Oh, look, somebody that wants to be banned with a really stupid name. Real stupid name. Going to go through all the X-Backs and max the professions. Yeah, you and me both. Now, technically, I already have them all maxed across different characters, though. But there's the question to whether I want to consolidate a little bit more. Jewel crafting, leatherworking are both on my main character and have been since the Burning Crusade. And so they have absolutely everything. They've got 95% of all the recipes in the game. So this dude is absolutely cooking. No problems there. Blacksmithing and enchanting is in a roughly similar position, although blacksmithing does have a few gaps in it, because there was once upon a time when I dropped blacksmithing and heavily regretted it, mostly on the basis that I lost a lot of recipes in doing that. But recipes don't matter so much now. It's more about getting the professions leveled up. If we look at this situation, for example, I can go back in time to any of the expansions and they're all just done, right? They're all just done. Well, I have that position with jewel crafting. I have the same scenario with leatherworking. They're just all done. And on a couple of other characters, it's mostly a similar pattern. Is there a resource for the War Within where all of the recipes drop, or is it completely random? I don't want to spend the gold or the acuity because I'm saving up for blue tools and such. Recipes come from different places. Some cost acuity, some are world drops, some drop off raid bosses, most of which can be either bought in the auction house or bought for acuity. So it's gold or acuity is your two resources for the recipes. But pick up the ones that you feel you might use. There's no requirement to have all of them. While I'm here, in fact, we can get these teams logged on at least. Any orders? Any orders? Negative. Craft queue. Okay, do a couple. Do leather working real quick. Ooh, big boy option. Augment rune. Augment runes always spin a nice profit. It's worth checking daily just to catch the augment rune recipes. Right, the rest of those are stinky though. Let's head over to the undermine. How are we doing? Woo, good morning. Good morning, good mornings, good mornings, all the mornings.
You wish to speak? Wins the
Yeah, I was not expecting at 8 o'clock last night to get notification that there's a new blog post about player housing. And Muggins here when he's already had a couple of beers. I don't know if you could tell in the video, but I'd already had a few drinks last night before I recorded that video. Me and the wife had dinner, and I had a couple of beers with dinner, and we went to we'd been to the store to get some stuff because we got guests coming over later. Then all of a sudden, boom! Blog post, profession-related info. The first profession-related info we had in flipping ages. So I was like, right, okay, back to work we go. Dust off the old YouTubes. Wait, tell me everything. Well, player housing is going to be not coming with its own brand new like decoration-esque profession, but they're going to weave in recipes to all of the past expansion professions for player housing. So expect every profession from every expansion to have a couple of recipes that are going to use time-specific materials. Now, obviously, we don't know about how we get these recipes or how many there are going to be, but simple maths tells you quite quickly that there's probably going to be a couple of hundred recipes at least. On launch, I would imagine, for decor stuff. So I'm quite sure there's going to be a buzz around that. Does mean that there is now a little bit of a push to make sure that you have this scenario in place on some of your key crafters, that you can go back to any of the past profession, within your profession, you can go back in time as far as you need, and have the skill in order to collect the recipe and then craft the recipe. Obviously, dealing with materials is another consideration, but at least having this in place is going to be quite worthwhile for people on their dedicated crafters, of course. Crafters that are going to want to collect those recipes and might want to look at crafting them. Does mean if over the years you've sort of swapped your professions around, if you've played the sort of the what is the meta this patch kind of thing with your professions and drop them and pick them back up again and drop and pick up another one and stuff, you're probably going to have a bit more gaps in this, but I still have plenty of gaps, and I'm quite religious about having a few characters that have a few professions, but we'll see. Yeah, I knew it was going to be a long vid. I read the article in full before I recorded the video, so I knew what the article said before I went, hit the record button. But it still ended up being a 35-minute video going through it all, so... right, we need a team of dudes. Why? Oh, there we go. Are all of these on and alive? They're all on and alive. Let's group them all up, because I always make the mistake of not grouping them up. And let's get some of the res on the pew pew. Let's do a quick sanity check to see who's up and maybe where. I've changed my alert noise for the rares to like a chicken. This is because it's not the default. Often during stream I'll have the noise off completely, but that does unfortunately lead to me missing things, and so I'm going to have to leave the noise on, but I've changed the noise so it doesn't hopefully clash with your noise for the rare scanner if you're doing something similar. I'm not proactively trying to bait people's ears. Right, there is going to be quite a bit of waiting today though, but in that downtime we can do things like this, and we can catch Cheerleader up a little bit with the Trust Me I'm a Professional in the new player housing blog. Decor will be crafted by all existing non-gathering primary professions instead of creating a new profession solely. Is point number one. So instantly injecting value in having the professions from all the past expansions leveled up as well. Now no doubt it will cause a bit of buzz, and there'll be a bunch of people that will consider leveling up their own professions in the upcoming months, meaning that anything that is a material that's on the, I don't know, WoW Dash professions list of materials needed to level all professions, will quite probably see shenanigans at play, I would imagine. But it's cool all the same. Each profession will be able to craft a few pieces of appropriate decor from each expansion, using that expansion's version of the profession. E.g., for example, to craft something from Mists of Pandaria, you will need the relevant Mists of Pandaria profession at the appropriate level. So, yeah, get your old stuff leveled up, basically. To craft something, players will not only need the required recipe and the skill level, but they will also need to gather a new type of decor crafting specific reagent per expansion, as well as any required reagents from that expansion. So this is where they're injecting something new, which is where I do still suspect that we could see a lumberjack style gathering profession of some sort. As a gathering profession, they did say that there won't be a new primary profession attached purely to, decor crafting, but that doesn't exclude the option of a secondary profession. Oh, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Well, exactly. We could all get our sing-song on the go. I don't know how many of you are old school enough to remember the New World days, where we were chopping trees for hours. We were professional tree chopper back in New World. But we also saw with, what was it, Garrisons, I think I mentioned this in the video, Garrisons had, the ability to build a lumber mill, and then you had some daily tasks to go out and chop down trees. There's no reason they couldn't re-inject that exact same thing. And it makes me think that because of this ironwood lumber. Plus, wood is a key component in making furniture all the time, right? And it's the one side of gathering that we don't really have. They say down here that jewel crafters are going to be responsible for like the stonework side of things. Blacksmithing deals with metal, primarily with metal. They're really leaving the door wide open for like a lumberjack gathering, wood preparing, like lumber crafting, like sort of additional gathering profession. It's kind of clever to do it like this, to be honest, as getting the wood will get people back into the zones and gathering the other mats to supply the economy as well. Yeah, there's only one thing that scares me ever so slightly, and it's that this could be made like just a world drop bind-on pickup material. Obviously, we don't know what this new reagent from each expansion is going to be, but my absolute worry is that they make it bind-on pickup so that you have to go out and farm it yourself. Now, that does limit people's ability to mass produce, but it also injects value into each item that could then be sold. So it's kind of 50-50 for me on that. But I mean, this, for example, could also very easily be attached to those neighborhood themed events that they were talking about. I'm sure there's lots of ways they could integrate these new materials into the game for this, but things to note, in general, most profession-made goods, crafted decor can be traded to others or sold on the auction house, which is nice to see. I'm really happy to see that they are not pushing work orders with this, and are just quite simply having them all considered commodities, which they mentioned earlier in the post, so that they'll get posted on the region-wide auction house and people can just buy them. But we'll see. I didn't check if the old material's gone crazy on prices. Oh, I mean, there'll always be somebody that will spec, you know. The reality is most old material, you can probably buy out the entire market for like 50k. So, I mean, it's one of those things that chancers will just chance it, you know. They'll buy it out, they'll put it for 5 times the price, and then in 48 hours when none of it's sold, they'll just sell it back for what they bought it for. But, you know, people take that risk. I was doing my workout when your video dropped. Who knew listening to you talk about professions can be so focusing? Hey, well, there we go. There we go. But, yeah, the TLDR being that professions are being like decor crafting is being woven into all of the past expansions, professions. Maybe not necessarily all of them in great detail for the launch of the feature, but it will be something that they continuously add to. I tried to emphasize in the video that player housing and the decor is going to feel... Decor is positioned to feel like an alternative collectible to like transmog. Like there's going to be loads of different stuff. It's the... Unironically, whereas people complain very often about recolors in gearing, it sort of makes more sense with decor to have like, oh, well, here's a sofa and there's 12 different color variations of said sofa to collect. Now, of course, it would be much nicer if they would just integrate dyes into tailoring and let you customize things. But like, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. There's already some sort of sniff of that happening with player housing anyway, so we'll see how it all pans out. We got to remember that blog posts are that. They're just words. They're just words until we actually see it in the game. I don't know how they're going to do the testing for player housing, because they've already stated that it's not directly linked to Midnight, so it doesn't really make sense for them to test it in the Midnight Alpha or the Beta. Are they going to test it on the PTR? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think dyes were already semi-confirmed, being able to change the like hue of stuff at least in some way, shape or form, but... Isn't there an old world material shortage because of the bug Student mentioned yesterday in this video? I don't watch Student's videos, unfortunately, to know. What did he say? This is no shade on Student, but I know his business model, and it doesn't appeal to me watching his videos daily. More like different colours, be like reskins, not actually a dye scaler system. No, yeah, I think it's more along those lines, that you'll be able to take a dye to an item and change its color or something. Who knows? Old world transmog farms are bugged and they're not dropping greens, so people have stopped doing them. Old world transmog world drops have been bugged or nerfed, meaning the mobs don't drop that many transmog items, hence the shortage. Well, there was a good possibility that some of the old transmog farm. Okay, I sort of know where this. They have probably been nerfed, and I can somewhat tell you why they've been nerfed. I can't 100% confirm this, but I am aware that there was some real shenanigans going on with scaling. In terms of the fact that there was ways and means to make the world drop really odd item level gear, but that item level gear was scaling its vendor value as well as the item levels, in essence meaning that there were some players who were able to hyper spawn farms very easily in almost hidden shards away from the public eye, while simultaneously like raw gold farming 20k gold an hour off vendoring these greens. So there's a strong likelihood that they just completely nuked a lot of the old world greens dropping as a quick fix, because it had to be a quick fix, because to redo the entire way scaling works is not a quick fix. So in essence, yes, they've probably nerfed a lot of the old world greens from dropping as a way to, in essence, reduce bots doing bot things. Just want to know if pigments from inscription will be used to dye stuff or not. Not a real indicator one way or another in the blog. It's true. It'd be nice if they weave that in, you know, allow tailoring to do and deal with a lot of the cloth like they historically have, but then have inscription that can change the color of that cloth, and different colored cloths then may be needed to craft certain, you know, if you want to make a pink chair or a green chair or a blue chair, you know. See, this is always the risk for me, that we get to know this sort of stuff ahead of time. And the reality is that we end up with so much time to just kind of think about it. We dream up all of these absolutely wonderful ideas in our heads, and the reality is then none, only a fraction of that is ever going to be able to be implemented. This is why I thought player housing from the word go is like, I don't know, it's almost like, it's like a bit, I hope it doesn't end up being a bit of a curse for Blizzard, because of the fact that there is absolutely no way, whatever they do with player housing, that it can fully meet the dreams and hopes of players over 20 years. That's not possible. Not possible in any way, shape or form to fully meet people's expectations in that regard. And you know how critical the WoW community can be very fast when they are told they're getting something and then it's not exactly what they want. Dinars, I'm looking at you. Overpromise and underdeliver. It's the Blizzard motto these days. But yeah, the reality is we just, we wait and we find out. We wait and we see. The preparation right now, there are two things to prepare for. They dropped a couple of sneaky hints in that blog post. Whether this is just, Blizzard doing Blizzard things, but they dropped a couple of sneaky hints in that post. One of that, you will probably want to be leveling up all of your old professions if you do not already have them on a character somewhere. But secondly, they also spoke about the meta achievements. One thing we'd like to give you a heads up on here is that we intend to offer decor rewards for past expansion meta achievements. If you think there might be a if you think you might be a decor completionist, it is worth starting these in your downtime. So they're kind of really pushing into the mindset of that, yes, even old achievements, old meta achievements might award stuff that you might be interested in. Plenty of things to keep yourself busy, in other words. Just be a pessimist, expect the worst. You can then only be positively surprised if anything good happens. Yeah, I joke about that a little bit with the wife. I don't consider myself pessimistic, but I am a bit more of a realist about stuff like this. I try not to get carried away by dreams and hopes and wishes for stuff. But at the same time, I don't necessarily always think something's going to be shit unless proven otherwise. I somewhat feel I sit a little bit more in the middle. It helps with critical thinking to be able to like look at it from both perspectives. A skill that these days seems to bypass far too many people, especially if you encounter them on the internet. It's only in classic example mop items are dropping with no issue. Yeah, probably. And it's because it's the classic items that were scaling to ungodly degrees. You were having... I don't know the full ins and outs of this, but of course I hear things and I see things. You could basically scale classic greens all the way up to like near max level stats, which was then in turn causing their vendor values to go from like a few gold a piece to like hundreds of like 150 gold a piece for your average green item, which when you can one shot and hyperspawn farm things such as down in Silithus, you were in a position where people were able to generate raw gold like 20k an hour. And so, yeah, instead of fixing the entire scaling system, it's easier for Blizzard to just turn off half the loot tables for the mobs. Why fix something properly when you can band-aid it? You know? Fixing it properly, I mean, admittedly, all it'll mean is that somebody goes and finds the next spot that you can do the exact same thing on, and the game of cat and mouse continues. I have a feeling that Blizzard are going to turn housing into a chore. I hope I'm wrong, but past experience has made me wary. It will only be a chore if you care about it. Much like transmog, you can definitely 100%, if you're an ATT collector of transmog, your life is permanently busy. You don't have a minute to breathe if you actually attempt to collect all the transmog. But the reality is that's only a chore if you care about it. It's only a chore if you make it a chore. This is the kind of this is the thing with like cosmetic items in games. You kind of get to make your own bed in that regards. I couldn't care less about transmog, and so when it comes to, I love me a bit of ATT, but at the end of the day, if I can't get the transmog items, I don't lose sleep over it. I'm not bothered. I will focus on whatever the event requires me to do to get pets, mounts, and recipes, and probably toys, but anything over and above those is considered a bonus to me, so it tends to often mean a lot of the transmog gets left behind, and I don't grind out the mog. But yeah, I do get it. Blizzard needs, and I've been saying this for so long now, Blizzard is absolutely in desperate need of a new reward structure though, because they've just milked pets and mounts and toys so hard for so many years now. In the last few expansions, I think if you take the War Within, Dragonflight, and Shadowlands, maybe... yeah, probably the last... if you take the last 3 expansions, I'm almost certain there's as many new mounts and pets to collect in just those 3 expansions as there was all of the 7 or so expansions before that. They have forcibly felt the need to lean so heavily into like, here's a new pet, here's a new mount, here's a new pet, here's a new mount, like all the time, that they've just milked that cow dry. There's nothing left in it. There's absolutely nothing left in it. People couldn't care less about half the pets and the mounts realistically now, other than to make their number go up by 1. I bet there's people out there that grind, get a new mount it once, see what its special is, and then never touch it ever again. Which is not healthy long term. And there comes a point where players are just like, oh, another reskin, fuck it, don't care. So Blizzard are in absolutely chronic need for a new reward structure. We saw the dragon customizations and the delve mount customization, you know, to sort of pique interest in players. But decor's going to be the new big category that can be, you know, game wide, that people can choose, and they can be like, right, I don't care about transmog, but I want an absolutely baller of a player house, and that they all can go out of their way and collect all of that stuff, for example. Something to pique people's interest, because pets and mounts don't really do it anymore. They've just milked that cow far too much. Is the semi-crude way of looking at it, but it's true. Should we check the mailboxes on these dudes? I either check them today or I wait until Tuesday. But we're already getting... Oh, I can see one there, look. I can see one there. We're already getting a reasonable amount of stuff in our mailboxes. Maybe we leave it till Tuesday. Open everything in one go. Do one big clean out. Look, they've all sat here, but they've missed the chair. Idiots. Idiots. You all missed the chair, fellas. Alright, well, this team, we can call this team done. Why am I doing X and log out? So I've got log out buttons. They do all share the one brain. That is true. That is true. Maybe it's more on me. Yeah, the number of pets per expansion is like 3 times what it used to be. Yeah, they've just had to go crazy with it in order to, and it's probably a byproduct of that they're trying so much harder now to give us something new every 8 weeks. And I mentioned this a lot last week when we spoke about the Nightfall event, that the only way that Blizzard seems, when Blizzard shits out a piece of trash tier content, they have to, in some way, shape or form, incentivize people to go do it, regardless of whether it's shit content. And the way that they've done that is like, right, have another pet, have another mount, have another tabard, have another rep grind, right? They've just thrown things at us as an incentive to go and do this very, very average, very mediocre mini games that they throw out at us every 8 weeks. And that is meant when we used to have expansions where we had 3 patches and, you know, there was a thing to do in that patch, and when you finish the patch, you just twiddle your thumbs for 4 months until they released something new. Good morning, open the stream, and the first 2 words was shit content. Hey, we keep it real over here. No beating around the bush. There's going to be lots that got the Black Bruto for the number to go up, do you think? Do you think people would have paid $90 for that? Well, I know there's a lot of people with the OG Longboy that also bought the new one, but the utility aspect of the new one is also undeniable. It has, you know, it has the mailbox. That means you can literally go anywhere in the world at any time. You know, you could be standing in the arse end of nowhere and go, you know what, I need to buy this. Boom. Buy it, pick it up, send it somewhere. You know, it's the utility of this is crazy. So in some people's eyes, it's the best $90 they ever spent. Which program do you use to multi-box now? It's no program at all. It's just clever positioning of the windows. That's all it is. It's just having the accounts open and putting them in a spot. I still have to click and do things on each and every single one. It's why it's not really considered multi-boxing. It's just the accounts are there and open. And yeah, more to the fact you're not actually allowed to use programs to facilitate it anyway. So I use the OG one for the vendor and the repair first, and then I mount on the other one to get the mail. Yeah, there's part of me that still wants the OG one. Now it seems to pop up on the black market auction house, and actually, believe it or not, has been seen to be going for less than gold cap quite often as well. There's a video of Zayu buying bandages in the middle of an arena match. I expect nothing less from him. But yeah, that goes to show, right? It's almost pay to win in that regard. Buying bandages off the auction house, collecting them from the mailbox and bandaging up mid-arena match. That's just funny. Probably cynical, but Blizzard exploits people's collecting edition, in my opinion. Oh yeah, that's not cynical at all. That's easy to see. It's easy to see. This is why I tell people, look at the content they provide you minus the reward structure. It's easy to see what the reward structure is, and that reward structure is the carrot on the stick. That's the thing that they're like saying, come here, come and do this content. Ignore the fact that it's terrible, and ignore the fact that it's not fun, and ignore the fact that you probably wouldn't choose to do it. But just look at this shiny, right? Come get the shiny. Gaming in general over the last, I want to say over the last 10 years has seen an explosion of almost psychological abuse of their players in telling them to come get the shiny. Log on every day to get your shiny. If you miss a day, you don't get the shiny. You know, it's literally gaming in a nutshell these days. The other big thing from the vid blog was the use of the word commodity in the differentiation between normal and investment decor. So commodity likely to be treated region wide, but investment might be service specific perhaps. While I think more along the lines of investment referring to the fact that it's something that you need to go get at, you need to go get it yourself. It'll be warbound. There'll be some items, you even saw it in the post actually, some that are going to be tagged as warbound, which obviously then won't be auction houseable and will require you on one of your characters at least to go get it. So some sort of fortuitous effort on your behalf to go get some of the appearances, making the entire system not completely pay to win, you know. But with the nice comfort being that everything else should be on the auction house. Yeah, it was up here somewhere. They stated that the progressive journey principle means that the majority of the decor types, chairs, beds, shelves, etc., are considered commodities and are readily available from vendors or other players via the auction house, questing, and so on. If you want a wooden chair, it's very easy and inexpensive to acquire it. There's the investment decor, which are generally more niche items, either in theming or looks or appeal, which may require more time and cost investment. Examples could be a sparkling fountain with particle effects or books that flap on their own. You can see in here, right, this little screenshot from the Seat of the Triumphant dungeon. It's bind to warbound, so you'll have to go into this old dungeon, you'll have to farm that old dungeon, and hopefully at the same time as getting yourselves a few more pieces of mog for your collection, you will stumble across a crate that is a decor item that then will go straight to your warbound, warband. Meaning that it isn't something that's going to be just, oh, you just buy it on the auction house sort of thing. Which I think is good. I think it's a good way of doing it. You know, share the love, split it up a little bit. Manthi's golden right now with all the professions. Find it will pay off. Yeah, well, I mean, having... It's not really been that much of a extracurricular activity for me to keep the professions up to speed because I've played the game for 20 years. It's those novice players that maybe picked the game up in BFA or, you know, in more recent times that have a decade plus worth of content that they never played and have probably to this day never had any reason whatsoever to touch. Now, the reality is those players are absolute prime candidates to just buy it off the people like me that will have the ability to do it. There's probably not that much added value in being able to craft everything yourself. But, you know, crafters do that. That is what crafters like doing at the end of the day, so... I've only killed Nitro. Thwack tends to have the habit of spawning without me seeing it or getting a notification. Much like the fact that he's dead on the floor right now. Swigs and Tally are also both dead lying on the floor right now. God, I could really do with some cross-realm hoppy action on these dudes to speed this whole process up. Do we know? I've mostly considered level 70 being the minimum level that's needed to do this, but that's mostly on the basis that I had a bunch of remix characters. What has anybody actually tested what the minimum level is to be able to loot the rares? Because surely you should be able to loot them before being level 70. The question is how low is that number? Surely you can't loot them on level 10s. Or can you? Do you actually need them at level 70? Or is it just people like me doing it at level 70 because it was convenient because we already had lots of level 70s? I haven't actually tested. I hadn't even really given it much thought. Might be worth making a bunch of low levels, summon them in and just find out. Might be... Because I could then make the teams with characters all over the shop to do all the realm hopping business. And if they can still loot, even whilst really low level... Because, I mean, technically there's a 80 requirement to even be in the zone. Being here at level 70 only exists because we summon them in. Might need some testing. The more obvious addictions, there are some legal protections. Gaming is still, for the most part, a bit of a no-rule land that is probably impacting more people than other shit. Yeah, yeah, no doubt about that whatsoever. You know, loot boxes is quite clear and obvious to many that it's just straight-up gambling. But it has never been regulated like gambling, and it's taken years of legality for it to be considered gambling. But it has the exact same psychological traits as gambling, so... One example is the meta achievements, the fact that they even mention them. Yeah, meta achievements are a big sort of like here, make sure you've done everything in the expansion. Them going back and putting meta achievements in the past expansions is clearly just adding something to keep people busy until they can, you know, put something new and something decent out there. My wallet for sure is impacted by all the new store offers. I feel like they've gone up in frequency since Microsoft took over. Oh, without question. We are now seeing a store offer every month without fail. Absolutely, without question. There's huge amounts more stuff since Microsoft took over, and that was always going to be the case. An ad hoc vid on the upcoming Goblin opportunities for player housing decor. I could do a more tailored, more focused one than just the overview video yesterday, because of course with the profession stuff being quite far down, I think I was 20 minutes into the video before I even mentioned the word professions. A slightly more focused one could be worthwhile, but maybe leave it a couple of days for the dust to settle, potentially. It's an internal flag they can use. I very much doubt they're lootable below 70. I might summon a few random low-level characters in and just see if I can test. See who can loot what.
Let's make sweet, sweet
None
profit
of these rares
together.
are turning up anymore. Quick check, not there. Dirt, my man, with a 47. I'm pretty convinced. I was talking about this the other day. I think that's the record now. I'm actually pretty convinced that that's the record, my man. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. I think we are now 1 month away from streaming for 4 years on Twitch. I don't strictly have a Twitch birthday, mostly because my Twitch channel is like from 2011 or something. My Twitch channel was a Justin.tv channel before it was a Twitch channel. It's that old. But yeah, in terms of since we've been proactively streaming on the platform, I think it's literally 1 month away from 4 years now, so thank you, my man. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a good weekend. No 24-hour shifts, I hope. A straight 47-month-long rant. Yeah, I've been here about 36 months. Ranthius has been here a bit longer. I don't know if it's healthy having an alter ego. Oh, there we go. For example, Thwack is showing up as spawned, but he's being cheeky and not showing up again on my actual screen, although he is here. So that will just be Tally to kill after this. A rantrospective after the 4-year mark. Well, think about what we've gone through during those 4 years here on Twitch. We have seen... Well, we started Shadowlands on Team YouTube predominantly. It was shortly through Shadowlands I think I made the decision to move over to Twitch. Now, of course, we stream on both nowadays, but there was a transition period where YouTube didn't get the streams. I think halfway through Shadowlands, so we saw the midpoint to the tail end of all of the Shadowlands shenanigans, all of the Dragonflight beta stuff, trying to figure out all these new professions and ins and outs and all of that sort of jazz. Then the entirety of Dragonflight Now into the war within. Are you using Rare Scanner? I've turned Rare Scanner off on my main account in favour of just using Silver Dragon. I felt Silver Dragon offered more flexibility and kind of did what I wanted it to do a little bit more. Saved the marriage by streaming it instead of directing it to the wife. I'm relatively chill day to day. My wife's Finnish. She's got more fire in her than I do. I can see the veins if Ranthius' forehead is already pulsating. When he wants to make an appearance, you mean? When he's got something to say and he's being held back. Right, if we can get... Oh no, is it tally that we still need? Yeah. Single tally kill and then we can move the teams on. Goal making grandpa over here with a Justin TV account. This is why I don't have a Twitch birthday. Because I was streaming on Twitch in like 2013-ish for a couple of years. I'm pretty convinced there's not a single person in the community now than there was all the way back then. But then I went and took like a good, I don't know, 6 years off or something. I made a little bit of WoW goal-making content, streamed occasionally from, I want to say, late Cataclysm era to probably the midpoint of WoD, I think. And then from WoD all the way up until the very end of BFA. Well, I basically just took a break from being public. It's not really a break at that point, is it? When it's like a 6-year duration or something, but... Should we see if any of the bonus rares were live? Sal's a good one if you can catch him. Go check Grimy Boy. It's too much like hard work pulling Grimewick to the corner to kill it for all of these dudes, but I'll nuke it for my own benefit. Made about 9 mil profit on your cross-realm shenanigans so far, 4 to 5 months. Hey, it's good. That's good going. That's cracking. There's no doubt in my mind, and I don't do much of this at all. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that if you want to take 10 million gold and turn it into 100, the way you do that is with cross-realm flipping. There's no other way in the game that's going to facilitate you multiplying your gold that quick. But the difference is I tend to think that people likely don't have that initial gold to spend on stuff to spread out, which is kind of the barrier to entry to people doing it properly. Now, I know some people have done reasonably well out of, like, you know, flipping recipes and stuff, but that's still very time sensitive and probably by this point hyper competitive almost, because it's the cheap entry level stuff that's within the reach of anybody. You know, anybody that's got 1 million gold can buy 50 of a recipe and post it on 50 different realms. And you will probably get some success doing that, but it's not going to multiply like you would want it to. Do you think there's any difference between a level 24 and a level 60 when it comes to looting in the Undermine? Maybe it's then 68 plus, because that's when you get your first The War Within quest. Yeah, I would probably say that 68 plus would make more sense. So by that argument, it doesn't really matter, because if you get into 68, you might as well get to 70, you know. Does help that I have a market all to myself on the biggest servers on EU region that's not yet been discovered. Well, shut up. Shut up. Say nothing. Otherwise, you say anything, people will go looking for it. Say nothing. I learn English from a book. Say nothing. Let's just kill things while we wait. I think I've missed a tally kill. There only feels to be one reason why this team has taken so long to finish, and it's because I reckon I've missed a tally kill at some point. I think probably when one of the others spawned, tally spawned at the same time, and I missed it. Which is the inherent problem of having all my toons on Draenor. That I live in one shard. One thing I have considered doing is figuring out what the power leveling strat is from 1 to 70 and then just doing it. There's part of me that feels that if I was to take this hunter at 663 item level, I could probably one-shot nearly anything in the game in any zone other than World of Warcraft, other than the War Within zones. My suspicion is that if we were to my suspicion is if we went back in time a little bit, and we took some toons to the Knockhood Hold, for example. I know mobs here hyperspawn and are mostly elites, and I reckon my level 80 with high gear can just like nuke anything here in big pulls, leave a couple of dudes just chilling and just grind it out. There's either the Knockwood Hold, or I know further down Brackenhide area there's a few similar spots. Likely to be quite contested on my realm though, so we'd also have to figure out getting to lower shards and stuff. But in essence, simulating whatever the level boosters do anyway, but doing it myself, because if I'm going to have to AFK there whilst they kill the mobs, I might as well kill the mobs myself, you know, and save myself the gold. I don't need Scrap Chewer, I need Tally. It keeps popping up as Scrap Chewer, but I know that's a lie. I know I've killed Scrap Chewer about 500 times on this character this week. Having an 80 as the booster really nerfs the XP you give to the alts. Is that how it works, is it? So you'd need... Is this where the level 70, 71 twinks come into play? Is that where their value add... Is that what their value add is it? The only problem with that is finding a shard that's not already occupied. I was able to do that only very early in the morning or late at night. How much will a player house cost? They did say that they want everybody to have a house, so I can't imagine it's going to be $1 million gold. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's going to be... Yeah, I don't know how they're going to deal with that. because yeah, I don't know what would be deemed a low enough number that it is still within the reach of everybody. I mean, if we're gonna go back one step and we're gonna look realistic, a value around whatever a token costs is a number that I can absolutely see being a number. Simply because it will aggressively incentivize those players that have no gold to buy a token. But they're not going to be, any more than 2 tokens is then too cheeky, if you get me. But I can definitely see them charging somewhere in the range of like 200k, 250k to get your player house. I mean, the 5th warband tab is 2.5 mil, so they're not scared to throw big numbers at us. We've had mounts that have costed 5 mil, 2.5 mil before. I would suspect incentivizing the poorest of the poor to buy a token is definitely something that they will strongly consider to get into player housing. And on that week, tokens will be very cheap. On that week, tokens will be very cheap. If you think the token dipped in price when the long boy turned up, you wait till they drop player housing and tell everybody it's going to cost 250k for your first house. They could have it like 100k for your first house and 500k for your second house, because they've already told us we're going to have 2. An alliance and a horde one, should you want them both. You can deck them out differently. Sharding to the low pop servers isn't really an option either, because the boosters are literally on all of the possible servers I was trying, but building a level 70 twink is really easy now, so giving it a try isn't even that expensive or time consuming. What do people use as 70 twinks these days? It's quite likely to be classes that I don't particularly have or enjoy, isn't it? It's going to be Blood Death Knights, or it's going to be Guardian Druids or something. Demon Hunter's best. Oh, Demon Hunter Balance Druids. Oh no! See, this is my point. Ah, I got the tag just. Flipping out. Even with flipping chickens going off in the background, I took my eyes off chat for 30 seconds and nearly missed the rare kill there again. That's how quick the rares die on my on air now. Balance Druid or Prop Paladin. For the War Within and for Time Walking in general use, Demon Hunter's better. I don't mind Prop Paladins. I love me a bit of Prop Paladin. Something weirdly nostalgic about dropping a concentration and watching everything burn. The Hobbs way of pulling. Player housing, perfect way for the wealthy to flaunt. In a way. I mean, I've mentioned this a few times, but if there's like a diamond encrusted golden toilet or something, that like ends up being 1 million gold, you bet your ass there'll be K-Chak will just have 20 of them on his front lawn, you know. It'll definitely end up being a way to like make the most outrageously, ridiculously cover, you know, just over the top. I remember very briefly looking at some of the Final Fantasy player housing things, and some of the stuff people were doing with those was just bonkers. Like flipping shark tanks in the living room and all sorts of stuff. Now, obviously, I didn't get into Final Fantasy enough to really dig into, you know, what were the status symbol items, but it was funny all the same. Nitro's dead. We've just killed Tally, which makes me think Swigs is due a respawn soon. Yeah, the reality for me is that, like, it makes a lot more sense for me to build a level 71 Twink. For the content, if nothing else. You know, to build it over a few days on stream or whatever. Showcase to others what is needed to do it. And then, of course, I have the luxury of... or 70 even, whichever. I have the luxury then of being able to use it to boost my own tunes if needs be. I made a holy priest. Let me have a house where everything is made of white marble, holy statues covered everything with gold piles, please. See, this is the thing, right? People have got so many years under their belt of just dreaming. Just dreaming. For a proper level 70 Twink, though, does that not need to be on an account that does not have the War Within? So that you can both not have the level lock and also not gain experience? Is that going to require a dedicated account for the Twink? Hence me, in essence, meaning I can't use any of these 5 for the Twink. Yeah, use the remix strategy, I see, okay. Nightfall scenarios are finally fixed. Been cozy, just hit Renown 8, looking to be done before the weekend ends. Yeah, I've just sacked off that event. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother. You release a bit of content and in such a broken fashion, I'm not gonna hang around wait for them to fix it. Honestly. I would love to just have a pile of gold and waste a lot of gold to make the biggest pile in the neighborhood. Just empty your war bank onto the front lawn. Just like bags and bags of pennies on the front lawn. Just get it piled up. That would be funny. This is mine if you're interested in seeing it. This is basically 70 item levels higher than what boosters have been using until 11.1 changes. So you just got 515 gear all over. 523 item level. Prop paladin. Well, here's a crazy idea. If you flipping got a character, why am I not just paying you to do this for me? If you've got the ability to do this already, there's part of me that's like, why am I not just paying you a bunch of gold? I'd rather pay somebody within the community a bunch of gold to do it than some random booster on WoW Marketplace. Or, for all I know, you are the random booster on WoW Marketplace. Because I hated the experience of using it. Oh, I see. But you say this is all just auction house gear. 515, level 70, auction house gear for the most part. Wasn't that hotfixed, though? Wasn't that hotfixed out the game? Isn't that stuff, like, ludicrously expensive now because they hotfixed it out? Five 45s requiring level 70. $250,000 gold. Holy. But 525s requiring 73. 515s requiring level 70. So you can build a full set for... See, the theory for me is that if it costs me a couple of 100,000 gold to build a full set, it's not the end of the world because I'd quickly pay that to somebody for only a couple of boosts anyway, you know? Oh, flip. Oh my god. This is how fast these rares die. Okay, well I've missed Nitro. It means if we can get Swigs and we can get Tally, then we just move on with this group. This is it. We're at the point where if I'm not paying attention, I so easily miss them. It was gear from the lock boxes that were 545. Okay. The new scaling is created 515s. The 545s are a scam now. If you buy them, they change to 400-ish item level. 515s will be hotfixed soon because it's another quote-unquote exploit. Interesting. My mind is not made for grinding mobs. No, neither's mine either, but... at the same time, like, if I make 4 low-level characters and I have to stand there AFK whilst I'm paying somebody else to grind the mobs, I'm still there for however long it takes them to do it. And worse than anything, I am then just absolutely doing nothing for the duration. I almost feel like I should be the one grinding the mobs because then I can start doing it when I want to do it, finish doing it when I want to do it, and not spend a shitload paying somebody else. This is my theory with this, of that if I am going to level a bunch of extra characters to be able to drip them into these teams so that I can do realm hopping, it makes significantly more sense for me to just do it myself. You know, the reason I'm doing it is fundamentally because I've got the ability to do it for the most part anyway. I mean, I've got 2 more accounts that don't have... 3 more accounts, in fact, that don't have the War Within that I can easily spin up, of which, actually, if I take a look, probably have level 70 characters on them already that can easily be converted into... Let's load this account up, for example. What's on this account? What's on this account? Oh, hello. I heard chickens. Please hold. Oh, chickens for Sal. Chickens for Sal. Come on, 2 of you. Get in the car. Strong chance by the time I get there he's dead, but... Come on. Run faster. Yeah, you snooze, you lose. Camping Swigs, because that's the one I absolutely can't miss. Yeah, what was on this account? Yeah. Social contracts. Yeah. So, okay, not a lot on this account, actually. Not a lot on this one. But, Streamer Luck. I have a level 50 called Streamer Luck that could, that only needs 20 levels before they qualify. So that account, probably not. That account, not so much. Oh shit, Swigs. Jesus. Jeez Louise. I even hear the chick. You see, the problem is I changed it to a chicken sound so that it wasn't the default sound, so I didn't like bait you guys into thinking there was a rare. And in changing it to the chicken sound, it's just white noise to me. Like, I hear a chicken and I'm not like, oh, there's a rare. I haven't got muscle memory for a chicken noise. That's my problem. Where did that other account go? Oh, I didn't load it up. What about WoW 5 then? Do you have anything on you? What does this account have? Oh no, that was a chicken again. Flip! Get out of the way! Oh, garbage. Literal garbage. Social contract, yeah. Okay, this dude also... This account also doesn't really have anything on it. Not anything sensible. So that's a no. What about WoW 6 then? This is my last possible option. This is the last account I own that doesn't technically have the War Within. Also, Frogged Up. Oh, this is the account that's got my monk on it and my priest from Remix. Okay, that's actually a slight frustration then. None of my spare accounts actually have a level 70 on them even. Which means we'd have to level one up to 70 first for them to then be a candidate for the Twink. I was hoping I had a level 70 paladin lying around, but apparently I don't. So I'd need to level a paladin to 70 on one of these bonus accounts. then twink him out. With the current boost, 50 to 70 is not going to take like that much time. Or did you not have a 50? I don't have a 50 paladin. I'll just make a new one. I mean, paladin's fun to level anyway. I'll just spam time walking dungeons. It'll also get me back into playing prop paladin. I've not played it for a while. Do an earth forge. It takes like an hour plus, or just like flying around. Did chat help with that name? Uwu, Fluffy Uwu. Probably, yeah. Do you have a paladin outfit? No, I don't, unfortunately. I'll just level another one. It's no biggie. I have character boosts, but not on those accounts. Character boosts are account specific these days. It's alright. So I'm just trying to sort of plan the process out here. Plan the process out. Just to Siren Isle boost, or is it Bracken Hide? I don't know what the zone is particularly. I just need the character first. Once we've got the character, it's fine. It was Manthius' own creation. It's what he says while he's on his Moonguard characters. Clearly, yeah. Clearly. And realistically, since it's going to be on a bonus account that's not this account, I can still have this up and running, and it's a good thing to kill time in between doing all of this shenanigans. And it can live in this corner when I'm killing rares. Right, 5 accounts is clearly not enough. 5 accounts, clearly not enough. Right, we're going to get account number 6 on the go. I've got to be careful. I'm not actually in a position to stream all day today, but if I'm killing rares, in between killing rares, we can be leveling a paladin. Who do we still need on these teams? It's just a nitro kill, isn't it? I missed a nitro kill, so this time we're going to camp the nitro kill. Only thing to bear in mind is if you're going to do time walking dungeons instead of the Dragonflight grind, is to have the characters who can queue as healer to do full party. Oh, is tank queues not instant for time walking? Is it only healer queues that end up being instant? Well, I mean, you just quest in between the queues, don't you? Quest in between the queues. But for the Siren Isle, you don't need a level 70 twink, just a geared level 80. I'm tempted to do the 70 twink thing just because I think it could be a lot of fun. And secondly, once I have the toon, then I can equally help other people out, you know. Yeah, if the Siren Isle one is an alternative, I mean, a geared hunter, I can nuke things in the Siren Isle. Maybe not as... Oh, these accounts, you may have noticed, Woo, 50% of them are paladins. 50% of them are hunters, and that's entirely so that these guys can queue as tanks or healers. Yeah, both of these two accounts are just populated fully with paladins instead. So if I was going to add to these teams, we'd probably do Volpera. Can Volpera be everything these days? Can Volpera be everything? I don't even know. Volpera paladins, Volpera hunters, 50-50. Volpera's purely for the camp, because the camp is convenient to be able to place and, you know, double Hearthstone. Just need the full tank heal DPS if you're going to do 5-mans. Yeah, well, half of them would be paladins by default anyway. That's why these paladins exist in the first place. To fill... From back in Remix, I was boosting on my main hunter, if you remember, for Remix. Mostly until we made the level 20 twinks. And even doing the level 20 twinks... Oh, there's Nitro. I needed somebody that could tank because the priest could only heal. You love the fluffy ear uwu Volpiras. Bezzy mates. You haven't seen the furry suit that I keep in the cupboard. Yeah, so you can see these accounts. Some of the accounts are all hunters. Some of the accounts are all paladins. And that's mostly down to queue reasons. I personally deny the Catgirl allegations. Drizzling Rose, I'm pretty sure you've got the Catgirl headset. I'm pretty sure I've seen you in that at some point. Don't be denying nothing now. Don't be denying that. No way you can afford that with just YouTube and Twitch pay. That's true. Say hello to my Patreon. Keep in mind that a Demon Hunter will scale with Mastery, so the Twink Demon Hunter, for example, will end up with over 120% Mastery, meaning you'll have 30% extra base speed. Well, this could be a good opportunity for me to level a Demon Hunter on the basis that I have a Demon Hunter, but I've never properly leveled a Demon Hunter, certainly not in recent enough times to remember what the hell's going on with one. So there could be some value in doing the Demon Hunter just as a learning experience. Have I literally just missed that thwack? I must have done because it's popped up on my rare scanner again. This is the point, right? If I'm not standing at the rare's dead before I get there. I never stream, you can't prove anything. Well, either way, let's get the last account on the go. I'll just use WoW 6 for this. Am I going to have to put a sub on this account to do this as well? Probably am, aren't I? Not going to lie, I wish I had 2 more tabs in the warband. That would be fantastic. I want more warband space, but I've realised maybe there is a limit on how much I'm willing to pay for it, since I haven't bought the 2.5 million tab yet, which would increase my warband storage by 25% if I did, but I'm not willing to spend 2.5 million on it. There was a day where I would have probably killed for another bank tab's worth of space, and I would have paid probably loads, but apparently not anymore. Downside with a Demon Hunter is the starting area, but at least it's not too long. Here's question number 1. Is there any Is there any distinct value in having this twink character? It is probably smart to have this twink character on a super duper mega low population realm in the first place, right? Just so there's the best chance that they have an open free shard to begin with. Or is that not going to matter too much? Is that then going to make it annoying to buy the gear for the character? No, because I can buy that on any realm and throw it in the war bank. What is the least populated server in the EU? Let's put you down there for a minute. What is the least populated server? The second least populated. Everybody's going to go for the least populated, so we go for the second least populated. Where's what's the most reliable? Raider.io is probably... Raider.io is probably the most reliable source for information on realm size these days. Stats, realms, European, population, not Russian. Right. Illidan. Tiddly, tiddly, tiddly. Horde populated realm. Moonglade merges with Argent Dawn now, annoyingly. Kirin Tor, French RP realm. There's definitely some small ones down here. Definitely some low pop ones. Doesn't really matter that much as long as it's just small, eh? Hang on, I heard chickens. Thwack. Didn't we just miss a thwack kill? You activate party sync with the low level ones and you end up going to those shards. Depends more on the shard zone, not the per server. For example, some low servers share with Kazakhs and others with Silvermoon. Oh, I see, okay. I see. So, realms. Do we do Demon Hunter, who I don't really know how to particularly play, but goes big zooms? Or do I do Prop Paladin, who I'm comfortable with in terms of playing, but does less zooms? Demon Hunter is 3 buttons. Demon Hunter's not complicated at all. Okay, Demon Hunter it is then. I'm predominantly going to... It's definitely going to be Horde, we go Demon Hunter Goblin? We can't do Demon Hunter Goblin. Blood Elf is the only option. Is that really the case? Is Blood Elf still the only option for Demon Hunters? I guess it is. I guess we go Demon Hunter then. Fell Rush, Fell Beam at twink levels. Okay. Customize. Right, we need names, boys and girls. Okay, the bold look actually does it. If you know, you know. Oh, so the name's restricted. Oh no. Oh no. Still restricted. Oh, unbelievable. I found this in the store yesterday. Rio Punch Monster. I always say I will try every one at least once. Brazil does it big. It's home to over 70% of all fruits ever known. Punch Monster Rio Punch is a totally new taste sensation. Exotic fruits with a hint of spice. Fully loaded with world famous Monster Energy blend. Is that still restricted? Okay. See if we can get some more inspiration. It's like Sonic. Oh, chicken alert. Lots of chicken alerts. Thanks. Nitro. All the chicken alerts that I'm completely not paying attention to. Mister is the restricted part. Is it really?
Hey, there's loads of scrap ripe for the picking in the heaps. Go in there and grab some, will ya?
Right, Nitro down. That's Nitro and Thwack. That means we've only got the other two on the other side. Tally and Swigs. Well, Camp Swigs. That's garbage. I was like 3 minutes behind on stream. Oh, okay. played with a hunter in Mythic Plus whose name was Murder Hobo. Okay. Alliance is better if you can do Alliance due to Shadow Meld reset if you want to maximize it. No, all of my characters are Horde already, and so making it Horde is more sensible, so then I don't have, like, cross-faction issues, you know? How do you do the mount farm with more than one character? Do you use the other characters to get to a new layer? That is the optimal way of doing it. I don't, as all my characters are on one shard, annoyingly. Slightly annoyingly, but... yes, the ideal way of doing it is to have them all on different shards, so that when a rare spawns on their shard, you invite all the other ones in, and then you kill it, and then you disband the group, and you wait for another rare, and then you regroup up wherever that rare is the ideal way to do it. That way you can fire through it very quickly, but... I'm going to need to give this account some game time, aren't I? This account's going to need a month of game time to do this. Do I have any tokens? Well, yeah, this dude's going to need to be leveled up to 70. I'm going to need to play him normally to get him to level 70. And then we can start getting in some gear and whatever. What's a token these days? 350k-ish? Let's find out. So if you kill Nitro, can you loot it 5 times? In essence, yeah. I don't actually loot on these characters, I just let it go to the mailbox. But yeah, the theory is that you can loot it 5 times. Oh, wait, what? Where's my token? Right, 5 seconds. You don't need the sub until level 20. Well, that's true, but now I've got it for when I need it. Got to get out of the starting zone. Also got to figure out how the hell I play Demon Hunter. I do hope I don't completely screw up my entire... My PC's chugging along quite nicely so far. But adding a 6th account, I need to remember to not push it above like 15 gig of memory. Oh my god, too much stuff. Too much stuff. Add-ons, disable all, reload. We're going to start clean. Start clean. Press button when you get a new button, press that as well. It's really not that complicated. Oh, you don't know me. I didn't figure out how to boost cross-faction. I know it's possible, but if you only have Horde, Belf is probably the best. Yeah, I was not going to make it overly complicated for myself by trying to add... Did I just shit? Did I shit out an egg? Did my chicken shit out an egg? Where did that come from? Okay. Is that just a noble garden related thing, or did my chickens do that? I don't even know. Distractions. Many a distraction. Do you get the thingy for the mount in the mailbox? Yes. Do you need to have all 5 characters close to the kill then? Yes, they need to be close. They need to be within minimap view distance. So if you can see them on the minimap. So these dudes are chilling in the hotel right now. Which means within the hotel you have Swigs right outside, Tally just up on the ramp, you have Nitro, and you have Thwack. Are the 4 dailies that you can kill with just leaving your dudes in the hotel. There's also Slugger, which is a weekly one you can kill with leaving them just in there. But if you want any of the other rares, you have to start moving everybody about, which starts getting a little bit more complicated to easily explain. Oh, why do my keybinds not work here? Options, keybinds, camera, zoom in, zoom out. Oh, there we go. Far too close. I don't need a companion, go away. How do you... What? Go away. Okay. I have literally never leveled a Demon Hunter, so let's see how this goes. Is there any... Let's just very quickly put a few things on that might help my case. I think we are going to want that one. We are going to want some quality of life ones, minimap button. Probably not much more than that, to be honest. Weak auras, sure. Bit of Zygor, why not? Rep the brand. Zygor, for some reason, turns on World Quest Tracker. I don't know why. Which is also turned on TomTom. That'll do. Auto loot. UI. I think that's the old one. Okay. That's clearly not quite right, because that clearly indicates I'm in totally the wrong spot. How did I not notice I'm in the wrong spot? I'm meant to be up here, so that I cover the chat window completely. The page up keybind is only for backflip flying. I find that so bad. That's my move. I do that. You don't do that. Stop. What? Words, my friend. Words. Action bars are missing, although I don't really need many of them right now. Action bars, some of you, some of you, some of you. There we go, that's better. Now it looks like normal. We can keep an eye out for chickens on these accounts. Right, we've got to get this dude to level 70. What? What? I got meleeed for 400 and it killed me. What? Excuse me, game? How much health do I have? I have 200 and something health. I got literally one shot by something. Do I get one shot? No, 4 health. How did I get one shot? Okay, sure. Right, what are our buttons then? Demon's Bite, do some damage, Chaos Strike, slice a target, refund some fury. Warband buttons. Warband buttons go over here somewhere. You're right, I probably should be using heirlooms as well, actually. Let's think about that. A nice little dose of her there. Yeah, that's clearly... What the hell? Warband collection, heirlooms. Do I not have my heirlooms all fully leveled up? Oh dear. Oh dear. I probably, actually thinking about it, never bothered to level up my leather heirlooms because I don't historically use leather characters. Right, we need one of them. On you go. We need a pair of shoulders. One of you. On you go. Cape, why not? That one's up to level 69, giggity. Swap that out. Some legs. A neck and a ring. Well, there's a ring. And a neck. Don't really matter, does it? It's just for the bonus. One of you. Do I have any warglaives? Probably not. Never bothered to pick up warglaives, apparently. Do you even have warglaives as heirlooms? Up until recently, you wouldn't have needed them, right? Surely? Maybe not. One-handed sword, axes, or warglaives. Do they all qualify? Can I use these then? cannot equip more than one of those. Apparently not. Hell Screams Cleaver. We'll go with one of those. Hell Screams Cleaver, sure. Boom. There we go. Polearm, sword. Is there no heirloom warglaives? Is it not that I just don't have them? Is it that they just don't exist? Maybe they don't exist. Interesting. Alright, well, an axe and a sword, I'll do. Unless we go... we go double Hellscream's Doomblade. There we go. The Mog is perfect as is. Oh, I'm not messing around with Mog. Don't be silly. Right, let's slap a few things. I've not heard any chicken noises either, which is also slightly worrying me. A new adventure has begun. One that we may or may not see through. But a new adventure nonetheless. Use 2 of the axes, that sword is strength. Oh yeah, so it is. So it is. I'm so much assuming that it all just automatically changes these days, and it clearly doesn't. Maybe I do have to use the axes. There we go, Agi. You do double damage with a perfect Mog, don't you know? It is rumored to be the case. It is rumored. Chicken. What chicken? Ah, chicken on a stupid mob. Italian swigs. I don't think I've ever... I mean, I probably must have done at some point, because I did have a max level Demon Hunter at one point. But probably all the way back when they were invented. I probably haven't done the starting zone ever since. Woohoo! We got ourselves a Doge. Find Ilari to the southeast. Down here somewhere. Collect some key business. This is one of those God bless Zygor moments. Because I could read quests and try and pay attention to what the hell's going on. Or I could just not. Let Zygor lead the way. Let you out the bag. Hacked and slashed. Right, I'm meant to do something now. What's this? Click on... Didn't I let you out the box? Get out the box. There we go. Be sacrificed. Thank you, my friend. Don't stand in whatever the hell's going on there. No chickens yet? No chicken noises. Favorite way you have made gold ever for any reason? It's a really boring answer, but the entirety of Shadowlands. The Lego crafting in general was my absolute heyday for gold making. It was both the best thing ever and the worst thing at the same time. So it's mixed emotions in that regard, but it was easily my favourite way to make gold. Genuinely awarded players time, effort and investment into professions, more so than we have probably ever seen ever. Now, the fact that it was so outrageously gatekeepy, and that cancel scanning was literally the bane of everybody's life back then, it still doesn't make too much of a difference to my overall opinion of it was easily the best way I've made gold in the game ever. Oh, garbage. Oh, garbage is up here. We can kill garbage up here. Teams actually get credit for garbage if you kill it here. Shadowlands Legendaries was a weird one though, because it was, like I said, it was so incredibly gatekeepy. For starters, you didn't necessarily need, but you needed either tens of millions of gold to get going, or huge amounts of hustle. And so it did both reward people's effort. It did reward people's effort quite well. That if you put the time and the effort in, there was definitely gold to be made. Although there was so much shenanigans going on to make sure that those people who had put the time and the effort in were able to maintain their market position, so to speak. For example, for probably 6 out of 7 days in the week, I would hold the value of base legendary items at like 5% margin, and would be more than happy to continuously craft and recraft at 5% margin. But simply so that the proposition of, or the thought process of others of, should I invest 10 million gold in competing with this guy, wasn't there, because you would hold the profit margins to absolute minimum values to make the 10 million gold you needed to get it all level up seem like a complete waste of time and effort. Then on the 7th day of the week, you would push for 20% profits and sell all day long, mostly known as Wednesdays. And that's just what you did. That's just how people did it. And it was usually that like 3 or 4 people would be able to do exactly that per realm. The true definition of like auction house PvP, to be honest. But it took me from 1.4 million gold to 113 million gold in just one expansion. Which, when you think about it, is actually bonkers. That was pretty much 5 million gold profit a month on average. Although, probably about 60% of that came in patch 9.2. So it's kind of like, it was kind of like big risk, big reward in pretty much the largest scale you could imagine. Right, I need a tally kill, but that's realistically all I need on these dudes. My favourite is simply herbing and mining at the beginning of an expansion. Well, I mean, it's about as close to guaranteed easy gold as you get, really. Like, when you can get like 50, 60, 70,000 gold an hour, simultaneously the token value is at its absolute lowest. When the token value halves at the beginning of an expansion, and your gold that you can generate per hour is like 70k, that 70k back then is like 140k now, because the token is now doubled. It's not quite as aggressive as that anymore, but like the point is the token has gone up, and so your gold goes less. It doesn't go as far. So like 70k gold an hour at the beginning of the expansion is like 150k gold an hour right now. And so yeah, herbing and mining at the beginning is just broken OP. But there's so much to do at the beginning of an expansion. Most people don't want to spend the time making gold, which is fair. But that's ultimately why there's lots of gold in it for everybody else, for those that do want to do it. It's pretty ridiculous, to be honest. It's the best example you'll ever see of like supply and demand. You know, everybody chats about supply and demand all day long when it comes to gold making, and people throw the term around all over the place, but I don't think most people really understand it. They understand the term, they don't understand how it actually, you know, works properly in game. But herbing and mining at the beginning is the best example. Everybody wants something, and nobody really wants to spend the time going and getting it. And so the people that do go and get it get to charge a premium for it. Where's this thing? Where are you? Hello? What the hell? Where is this? I've got to free somebody and I have no idea where you are. You hiding behind this thing? Oh, there's a cave there. Oh, no wonder I missed it. Ding one of many. Ding one of many. What did we get? Taunt? Torment. Taunt is always shift 1 for me. Whoa! Let's not be doing that. Zooming off a cliff. That's something I'm going to have to get used to, isn't it? Favorite way you lost gold? Well, I mean, we have to give that title to Dracothists, don't we? I heard a chicken. There's a Magno-shaped chicken, not a Tally-shaped chicken. I mean, I'm quite sure anybody lurking right now knows the story, but as it's still, the wound is still relatively fresh. The wound is still relatively fresh, but when Dracothists were announced, my maths was determining that based upon the cooldown of creating the damn things compared to the amount of people that would want the damn things, that there was inevitably to be a shortage of them when they first released. And we had that 1 week-ish period where people could craft them, but arguably nobody needed them yet. It was restricted to needing a spark or something. I can't remember what was the reason why people didn't really want them yet. But my theory, which I still to this day believe was mathematically accurate, was that there just wouldn't be enough of them. But what turned out to be the case was that there was plenty of them, and the reason there was plenty of them was that people had figured out how to circumvent the cooldown limitation on crafting them, and were just making them all day and selling them all day. So me, who was squirreling them away at what ended up being an overly inflated price, kind of got fucked. It's the easy way to describe that one. I got left holding the bag on an awful lot of very expensive Dracothists because the market didn't go the direction I planned it or expected it would do. I still hold true that my maths was solid. My theory was solid. I just got caught out by an exploit getting out of hand. So you win some, you lose some, but it's a good example of sometimes you lose some even if you do the right thing. Saturday with Mr. Manthias. Welcome in, welcome in. We weren't content with 5 accounts today, so we've moved up to 6. An exploit that had been fixed for the cloth in the previous patch. Yeah, exactly. And so, whilst I knew there was always the possibility that them implementing a new cooldown on a different profession would that the exploit would resurface, I unfortunately clearly gave Blizzard too much credit in that regard, in assuming that they would make sure that it didn't happen second time round. Well, turns out it did. Turns out it did. So, yeah, about that. But, yeah, you win some, you win some. Who's that? Thwack. Let's not forget it was the same alchemy bug that was released, which Blizzard then fixed and then implemented all over again with Dracothists. Yeah, because the transmutation cooldown suffered the same thing. The cloth bolt cooldown suffered the same thing. They even went as far as disabling the crafting of those items entirely for a period of time, once, so that they could figure out how to fix it and re-implement it properly. So I was never going to truly believe they were going to so quickly make the same mistake twice, but, you know, multi-dollar company that Blizzard is clearly just copy-pasted the code, copying the flipping bug that was in it in the first place. So, yeah, it was a bit, like I said, you can only play the game in a way. You can never, if you try and play around what you think might be an exploit, you'll never take any risks. So I took the risk to buy up and squirrel away a bunch of Dracothists in the week 1, and I think I paid an average of about 12k for each one, thinking that there was a very, very strong likelihood that the shortage of them the week after would push the price up, and I could resell them back out. But of course, it didn't end up being the case, because there was not the shortage I expected. In fact, there was an absolute glut of supply of them because they'd just been mass-produced all week the week before. So yeah, I lost somewhere in the region of about 16 million gold on that. I think I'd probably invested about 30 million gold into Dracothists in that 1 week, when it then turned out, instead of me doubling my investment to 60 mil, I actually ended up losing half of it, because I don't think the Dracothists ever really went much above 6k after that, when I was buying them for about 12. So I lost about 50% on that investment. But like I say, you win some, you lose some. That was one where I lost. Blizzard, tell us how you copy-paste code without telling us you copy-paste code. Yeah. Well, this Nightfall campaign is another clear example of this, right? Sorry, this Nightfall scenario. The Nightfall scenario is clear and obvious to me that they've just copied the same code that they used with the theatre event, that they used with the feast event in Dragonflight. They've copied the base code block that is buggy as all hell, and just implemented it and shipped it. And they'll be like, well, we'll fix it when it goes live. And that's exactly what they've had to do. Fix it again while it goes live. Keep my eyes on swigs, if nothing else. What are you going to do? I can 100% hear the increased irritation. Ranthius is coming out. He's come to play. But this is why my number one rule when it comes to, like, if you're going to buy materials at some point to try and sell them on again, if you're doing any flipping in any way, shape or form, I would never recommend you invest any more than what you are willing to 100% lose. Because in that scenario, I think I spent about 30 million gold on Dracothists in that 1 week. But at the end of the day, I still had triple that anyway. So it was like, it was probably a bit of a bigger investment than you should probably make, but it was still within the realms of safe. And so when I lost half of it, yeah, losing 16 million gold is a ridiculous amount of gold to lose on an investment, but it also didn't cripple me. But the reality is it didn't really matter at the end of the day. That gold wasn't doing anything particularly anyway. It would be nice if it didn't happen, of course. It would be nice if that 30 mil turned into 60, but didn't happen. Oh no, wait, hang on, I've missed something. What are we doing here? Briefing you. There we go. Like the World Boss World Quest not completing for months now. Yeah, the exact same thing, and it happens every time they release something new. They copy the same default code block, bugs and all, and then just ship it. I have no idea why internally they don't have processes as to where they then go in and they, change and, fix the code. Why don't they then make a new, copyable code block from it once they've debugged it? Like, why do they keep going back to the same buggy default code blocks and then having to re-bug fix it multiple times? It seems so inefficient. Because it's the same bugs that keep turning up every time. Surely whatever needs to be done to fix them in the first place is something that could then be, avoided next time. But, I don't know. It's not my company. But when you keep changing out devs like they're commodity materials, it's hard to keep those processes effective. Well, true. I don't think devs get, ownership of stuff really anymore. I think the ship is too big nowadays for any individual devs to really own something. And so that if that thing goes wrong, it gets passed back to that same dev. I think everybody is just trying to figure out and work with everybody else's code. I'm not particularly code savvy. It's not really my thing, but I've always somewhat understood that one person's way of writing and annotating code is often very different to somebody else's, even if it's the same language. Meaning that when you hand it to somebody else to try and debug or configure, some people would just rather rewrite the whole thing again than fix somebody else's, if you know what I mean. Use spectral sight. Is that this one? Haha. I should really pay a little bit of attention to what's going on and what these other abilities are, shouldn't I really? No swigs yet. No rares popping up. I've not heard chickens in the background, but... What's this ability? Sigil of Flame. Okay. Level 11. Lost dragon scale used to teleport to near Abyssian's location. Can I do that now? Or is it going to screw shit up if I leave halfway through doing the Demon Hunter starting area? Is that going to balls things up if I use this? Is it worth finishing? I actually experienced this where managers look at developers like they can just be hot swapped in like SSDs or hard drives in a PC. Management jumping on the AI hype train. Surely devs are easy to replace. Yeah, clearly. Right, well, we've dinged level 11. I'm going to assume that we can just piece out of this whole thing. If this completely balls things up, it balls things up, but let's see. Oh, fulfill your destiny as Illidan's champion and become the master of the Illidari. Only then may you leave. Oh, okay, so it doesn't even let you do it. You have got to finish. Oh, I've got no health again. Fell Lord Khazar. What are you? Small treasure chest. Sweet. Excuse me, fellas, coming through. There's another treasure chest. Don't mind if I do. And even on very large projects, or especially on the large projects, that's not really the case. The inherent knowledge that each person has about a project and how it's put together is really valuable. And the basic understanding you have about things that happened before you is really valuable. Everybody treats you like you can just drop a module here and it just works. Yeah, I think this is probably why good game devs, or good coders in general, companies pay them an awful lot of money to not go anywhere. Like, very, very well, you know, anybody that has an awful lot of expertise in a certain coding language or has predominantly been crucial in the building of a piece of software or something, you pay those people money so they don't leave. And you pay them lots of money so they don't leave. And this is mostly because if they leave, you are never going to find somebody that has the ability to replace that person that originally wrote the code and built it themselves, you know. Swigs and Tally we still need. So these two over here. Programming as a trade just isn't that old. It's not like comparing it to building a house that's kind of been figured out. Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of that. That everybody does it in a slightly different way. Hence why those people that design the systems from the ground up are worth keeping about. How do we get all the way over there? How do I even get there? I'm just gonna run around and see if we can get there. Right, we've got Fill the Bar quest. Slay some Devastators. What are we meant to be doing with this? Oh, it kills itself. Still not totally convinced I'm not missing rares. Even though I've told my add-on to scream and shout every time it finds one. Okay, we need to get all the way over there somehow. Let me take the scenic route then. Ooh, out of curiosity, what does the cooldown manager look like when you're low level and have, like, literally nothing? It just doesn't show. But it showed something. Had I set it to always visible, hide when inactive. Nope, just doesn't show. Just doesn't show. Maybe it'll show when we get out of this zone. Right, there's a big dude up here somewhere. This fella. Devastator down. One more of those, I think. I'm in combat with somebody. Still in combat with somebody. What's the chances that I get hooked on playing Demon Hunters, though? Is this a little bit of a risky experiment? Are we going to have to eventually switch all our characters to Demon Hunters because they're just the superior hunter? I hope not. I hope not. Get away. They're very easy to level once they have their full toolkit. Well, that's kind of partly one of the reasons I've used hunters for so long, because your pet just tanks stuff and you pew it from a distance, and under normal circumstances you don't die, or at least you really shouldn't. With that, I mean, a lot of other classes have to go the I should play a tank route to not die. Whereas I kind of feel I can do good DPS on a hunter whilst also not dying. So it's win-win. Now, of course, you don't get dungeon queues with the hunters particularly fast, but that's never really bothered me. Yeah, exactly. Bringing your own tank is something that's almost invaluable. Demon Hunters are the same. They have such self-sustain that no mob pack is too large. In fact, larger the better often. I used to get that same vibe about Paladins back in the day, that the more things you could squeeze in one consecration circle, the lesser chance you actually had of dying. which was always really fun. I'm not sure if it's so much the way these days. I enjoy a bit of a prop paladin, but it's usually a special occasion these days when he comes out, just because Ret is just often faster to kill things, and if nothing's really out there trying to kill you, Ret is still easier and faster to play, even though prop paladin's just loads of fun. The only downside with Demon Hunter is dashing into a pebble and disconnecting. Yeah, I can see that being a problem, actually. I need to think about a few things, actually. That button is not this. We don't need this on that button. What have we done here? Go away, Spectral Sight. Actually, mouse up is my dash. Mouse up is dash. Because my blink is like the same sort of thing. For prop pallies, means out of mobs, not out of mana. Yeah. I always felt those vibes. Right, so I think what's the preferred? Am I right in assuming that when you're level 70 twinked out, you just go Vengeance spec, so you basically don't die, right? Does that mean that for somebody like me who's never played a Demon Hunter, actually leveling this Vengeance is also the smart move? So at least I know roughly what I'm doing when I get there. Or when we get to level 70, do you end up doing so much damage and have so much self-sustain you go Havoc anyway? What's the play here, do we think? Why is there a long boy standing on me? Tally and Swigs. Swigs is still not there. Tally is dead over there. Swigs at least has despawned, meaning Swigs is likely to spawn soon, TM. I find Vengeance a bit slow for the leveling. Havoc is faster. Tanks, you just spam the time walking dungeons at the moment. Havoc is faster because of mastery and has lots of self-heal. So like I said, I don't want to figure out both specs. Whichever spec I'm likely to play at 70 in order to twink out and boost my own characters is the character that I'll level, the spec I will level up in. I only do leveling once, and so it doesn't matter if it's slightly faster or slightly slower. I couldn't care less. Havoc. Okay, there seems to be strong consensus for going Havoc. Right, let me kill Swigs real fast. Right, then that will mean that this team needs just Tally, I think. Right. Okay then. We'll go Havoc then. And before we get too much further, looking at it, I've only actually got about half an hour before I have to love you and leave you. But I will quick bathroom break, boys and girls, and I'll be back in 2. 4K, right. Oh no, have I just missed this kill? I might have just missed that. Oh well. Choose between Havoc and Vengeance. I thought I'd just done that. Stay a while and listen. All the power. Yeah, it depends how I actually want to level this dude up. The fact that we're going to be just rocking through the Dragon Isles, I can either just blast through it or I can go the dungeon spam route. It doesn't really matter. But let's get this dude out of the starting zone, if nothing else, to begin with. Tell you what, God bless 4K monitor. Holy. If I had all of this going on a 1080p screen, I'd have about 4 pixels in each window. Whereas now, each screen is actually usable without actually full screening it. What resolution do these run at, out of curiosity? 1280 by 650. Still small, but still big enough to read text and whatever. Unless, obviously, I just do this and then boom. I just wish Twitch had let me stream in 4K. It's kind of annoying that Twitch won't let me stream in 4K for some reason. If I could stream to Twitch in 4K, I could then take that same encode and send it to YouTube, and we'd get a YouTube stream in 4K as well. Whereas at the moment, until Twitch lets me stream in 4K, it's a little bit over the top to do 2 separate encodes with 2 separate copies of OBS, and it all gets very horrible. All gets very horrible. Some of you may have noticed on YouTube yesterday's video was in 4K. I can now fully record video content in 4K, which is nice. Oh, my heat keely has magically started working. Oh, we've got chickens. Chickens. No, dart fuge. Don't care about dart fuge. Oh, more chickens. More chickens. Magno. Still don't care about Magno. Mouse button 5? Really? Nearly dead. Would love to not be nearly dead. Where is the pool down below? This way? You can stream in 4K, but only with 1080p bit. Well, yeah, exactly. That's why I don't. That accidentally happened the other day. We had one stream where that was the case. We were streaming in 4K, but with like 6K bitrate, which is just tragic. Which is not happening. with the dungeon spam. I'm glad to help and give you a little show of what you'll be able to do. Well, I haven't actually got much time left today. I just wanted to sort of get the foundation in place today. Preferably get this dude out of the starting zone. Because we've got a friend coming over later, and so the wife is going to insist I do things like, you know, clean the house before they turn up, because apparently this friend is royalty, not a friend, you know. Wife things. Don't complain, just do it. Plus I also need to prepare some food for later as well, so I've not got all day to play video games, unfortunately, especially since it is a Saturday after all. I got up this morning and Mrs. Matthews was like, "Are you streaming today?" I was like, "I'm not taking the day off to hoover the house." Not happening. Nope. It's like, yes, I'm streaming. You should assume I'm streaming unless there is a really goddamn good reason why I'm not. I will take one day off a week. We've just bought a new car. I need to make the pennies. I don't know if I told you guys about the car. We went to test drive a car a week or two ago. And much like when you go look at puppies, there's no such thing as just going and looking. So now I have an extra €200 a month I need to find to pay for a car I don't even drive, which is always fun. Lambo, I wish. If we, I said to the wife, if we get a really nice car, I'll learn to drive. But until that day happens, no, I do the drinking, she does the driving. That's the rule. What are we doing here? Freeing people. You don't need to tidy up for them. They know where the Hoover is. Well, that's my theory. And what kind of friend turns up to your house and goes and is getting a free meal out of it and is like, "Ooh, it's dirty in here. Shut up, you tart." You know, I don't believe in that sort of thing. But you know, the wife likes to have a nice. To be fair, she uses it as an excuse to clean the house. She enjoys cleaning. Okay, there seems to be abilities on this cooldown bar thing that I don't possess as well, which is interesting. Whatever this thing is, revengeful retreat, remove all snares and vault away. I don't think I have that ability, or do I? Oh, I do have it. Well, that's probably mouse down then. Boom. Mouse wheel up, zoom forward. Mouse wheel down, zoom backwards. Ferrari Testarossa? I'd definitely learn to drive if we bought one of those. No, sorry. Do we have one of those? How do I get places? No, we ended up with an ID4 Volkswagen, full electric. It just seems sensible in these day and age. And we got one. We got a 2022 model, so not brand new, only a couple of years old. But we bought it. It clearly had like one grandma previous owner, had like 20k, 20,000 miles on the clock, which is absolutely nothing. So it feels brand new, even though it's a couple of years old. Break you out of here, maybe? Enjoys cleaning. Yeah, no comprende on that one. It's like, sure. Cleaning is a chore. Oh, chicken noise. No. Wrong chicken noise. I've put more than 20k miles on a rental before. Yeah, exactly. This is my point. This is why I was like, okay, yeah, that's not a bad deal. We were looking at two. There was one that had like 50k on the clock, but was only €1,000 cheaper. And then when I dug into it a little bit more, I was like, well, hang on, this cheaper one that Grandma owned had the nicer seats and some extra bonus features like fancier headlights and all this sort of stuff. So for an extra €1,000, it was a bit of a no-brainer. Basically no miles on the battery. One previous Grandma owner. It was a bit of a no-brainer. Now I've got an excuse to put solar panels on the roof. That's kind of the reason I wanted to go fully electric, because now I've got a really good reason to go to the wife. You know what we should do? How would you like to have 0 fuel bill for the car? And then maybe put some big batteries in the garage or something. Doesn't seem to be many Finnish car brands. How about buying something? Yeah, Koenigsegg, yeah. Blast around in a pocket rocket. What's this? Immolation aura. Generates 20 fury. That needs to be something... That needs a better key binding than 1, I think. That feels like a 4 to me. I've got to get my key binding sorted on this, I think. Figure it out. These buttons don't feel au natural. Seems like a very expensive way to get the UPS. That's something I still haven't bought, actually. I really should. Yeah, I just hook... Nowadays, I just hook my PC into the car battery. If we have a power outage, I'll just run off the car. Right, one more upstairs somewhere. Is that all of them? It's all of them. This museum's looking a bit weird. I had a lot of fun in the museum yesterday, I can't lie. It's quite a fun little game. I loaded up World of Warcraft today though, as I felt we needed a chat with the blog post that came out last night, and we just kind of got a little bit engrossed, and I've accidentally loaded up a 6th account, and I've accidentally started leveling a Demon Hunter in order to make a level 71 twink boosting character, so that I can boost 4 other accounts on low-level realms for the purpose of realm hopping. So, squirrels! But we will get back to the museum, don't you worry. I paid $30 for that game yesterday. I'm going to play it. And it was actually really quite fun. Yeah, nothing beats a bit of squirrels. Bit of squirrel action. These are all clashing aggressively with my heirlooms, so we can ignore them. We'll go this way. Are we meant to have double Fell Rush? Or is that a talent to get double Fell Rush? What are our talents? Fell Rush gains an additional charge. There we go. I thought that was the case. Increase maximum fury by 1. Sure, why not? Throwing a glaive will ricochet to an additional target. Sure, why not? What do we get over here? Oh, Eye Beam. Demon Hunter go burr. Eye Beam and Demon's Bite deals 50% more damage and generates 5 to 10 additional fury. Which one's Demon's Bite? I don't know the name of these things yet. My 2 button. Okay, that makes sense. My cooldown ability can be 4. That makes a lot of sense. My Eye Beam is this button. That means you go over there. That means you're an Eye Beam button. Mouse button 5 feels like an Eye Beam. What's the cooldown on this thing? 40 seconds. Yeah, that seems to make sense. Trying to get my keybinds in some sort of reasonable fashion that feels natural. Do you get potion bags from the time walking? Is it only outdoor content? No clue. Absolutely no clue. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, actually. I should probably find one of those potions and figure that sort of stuff out for this dude. Until this dude hits level 20, though, this account doesn't even have game time yet, so... Is it outdoor stuff only? Daddy Jonesy. What a name. What a name. What Grinstro are we doing? Where is flipping Tally? I seem to think that my my little chicken alert isn't going off, making me feel I've probably missed this rare kill a few times. If I wasn't streaming, I would probably have this 6th account on another screen so I can keep track of all of this on the main screen. But oh, chickens. Ah, garbage. Literal garbage. What is this button? Blade Dance. Strike a nearby enemy for some physical damage. Deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. That's another ability that I've apparently gained but don't have on my bars. Oh, so it is. Okay, I need to pay attention to this. That feels more like a 2 button to me. I need to... maybe this... Does a Demon Hunter get a stun in any shape or form? Do we have a stun? If Demon Hunters don't have a stun, I can use Shift 2. Otherwise, if Demon Hunters get a stun, it goes on my Shift 2 button. You get 2. There are 2 stuns. Well, I use E for interrupting and Shift 2 for stunning. So they can probably squeeze on those 2. Maybe that's a Q button. Maybe that's a Q button ability. Make Blade Dance a 1 button. Ease my interrupt too. Yeah, it's... I mean, Q or E are prime candidates for interrupts because you often want to smash it without having to use any modifiers or anything. Got to be right. I for interrupt. How big do you think my hands are? I for interrupt. That's a real cast iron guarantee way to never interrupt anything. I for interrupt. Outrageous behaviour. I-beam is really fun though. Easily one of the best best moves in the game. Oh shit, how do we get there? We've got to go the scenic route apparently. That needs a macro on it so that it casts wherever my mouse is. We'll do that later. I think you have 90% of what you'll press most of the time. Oh, okay. Like I said, this isn't technically the first time I've played a Demon Hunter, but it's this damn close to that I am basically learning it from fresh. Why leveling one wasn't out of the question, because I'd need a little bit of time to figure out what the hell what's going on with them anyway. Right, I'm starting to believe that flipping Tally doesn't exist. Or this realm is busted or something. Or I've just literally missed the kill 12 times. I'm sure there's a language that has the word interrupt start with an E. In Basque, interrupt is eten, which in Dutch is to eat. So more reason for interrupt to be on the E. Oh, fair enough. How the hell did you you must have Googled that shit. Oh, chickens. Chickens. I'm fighting bosses. No time for chickens. Hey! Speak the devil. Oh, ding. My level 70s are growing. Right, is that the 4 hotel ones done? Nitro, Swigs, Tally, and Thwack, yes. Okay, well in that case, we log these dudes off. Technically I should bring in another team now, but I've probably not got too much longer to play video games today, so maybe for these accounts that's them done. Let's get this fella out of the starting zone if possible. Oh, that wasn't the plan. I wasn't planning on sticking around long enough to spawn you again. Well, I have started, so I shall finish. More? What do you mean more chickens? Oh, Volt Strike. I'll actually take a Volt Strike kill, believe it or not. If he's Oh, okay. He's still in his early stages. I ain't doing the legwork though. That ain't happening. Not for sugar plums. How we doing, Bear? Welcome in. Welcomes. You not streaming today? Found a video of a friend of mine being an extra in an indie. What? Wait, what? Found a video of a friend of mine being an extra in an Indian movie filmed in New York in the 90s. That whole sentence sounds like a fever dream. That's crazy. Is this a you found it by random or... Wait, I've been here. These are the same flipping... These are the Fell Cycle flipping owls. I never wanted to see these again. Rotate the mirror. It doesn't let me rotate the mirror. Rotate this mirror. On the hub. The only place you'll randomly spot a video. That's the last place you want to find a video of your friend. Well, I guess friends you can make an exception for. It's the last place you want to find a video of a family member. Then that gets a touch more awkward. Not that kind of movie. Day off for me, Saturday, Monday, my chill days. Might do a cheeky bonus one occasionally. Yeah, I mean, I have over the years developed a semi-regular 9 till 5 situation. So Saturday, Sundays are usually my more chill days where I don't guarantee streams, but they quite frequently happen. Am I not meant to be killing this dude? Don't we have to do that 3 times, surely? Yeah. Oh. I assumed that zooming through that would save my ass, but apparently not. Found it with my Google foo. I actually spent almost an hour searching for it. She insisted it exists, but that nobody could find it. Yeah, if it exists, it's on the internet. It's just a case of where. This is what I think a lot of content creators also somewhat forget. There is no such thing. Like, if you broadcast yourself live, it exists somewhere, especially once you get to a point where you're prominent enough that people will start ripping your content for their own channels. I still, for the most part, live the life of luxury of that if I say something stupid, I can probably delete a VOD and it's fine. But not all creators have that luxury. Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. Send all the way up. Are we waiting for a lift then? Are we waiting for a lift? The elevator will be here shortly. Did Vault Strike ever spawn? Oh, he did. Whoops. Oh well. Snooze you lose. Yeah, the internet never forgets. Wait, you think deleting a VOD will save you? Why do you think I have a massive pile of hard drives behind me? Well, yeah, this is the thing, right? Like, if you're small enough of a creator that you can just delete the VOD and it, for the most part, disappears. But soon as you gain any reasonable amount of viewership, you can almost bet your ass that somebody else is recording it somewhere else. I have a server room behind me just for stupid Mantheus clips. It's giving off so much heat, I don't have to heat in the winter. Well, Twitch has actually integrated something new. I don't know if it works in my channel yet. Being a partnered Twitch channel should, in theory, mean it works. But there's meant to be a /clip command these days. Does it work for everybody? /clip test. Creating clip. Yeah, you can slash clip now. And then there's meant to be something along the lines of a top clippers or something. I don't seem to have it particularly, but it might be something that can be activated somehow. I'm thinking of doing something along the lines of a monthly giveaway or something for the top clipper. Hello, what's going on here? Oh, cutscenes. Spoiler alert. Which follower will you... What do you mean, which follower will I choose? The story choice will not affect your... What the hell? What do you mean, story? Are we going... Who are we going? I don't know. Sun Fury. Whatever. Okay, we're not far off finishing the starter zone. There's also a button to do it. Oh, what is there? Is there a new button where you can just press and it clips something? The irony for me is that I stream a lot more than I am in other people's streams, if that makes sense. So I see a lot of the... I mean, yeah, I have a button on my dashboard, which is clip it, to clip that. But anybody, I think, can do /clip. /clip only takes the last 30 seconds. It's harder to take stuff out of context when it includes context. Well, yeah, of course. But like, the theory is that Twitch are finally, after 1 million years, doing something about clips. It seems. Bear is an expert in receiving clips. Well, it's because she says dumb stuff. It's quite simple. She knows she's doing it. Calculated plays. And if she doesn't know she's doing it, I'm going to be there to point it out. Absolute clip farmer. It's outrageous behaviour. Magno. Don't want Magno. I actually don't realise half the time. Well, yeah, I know. That's why they come across genuine. Because you often do say stuff and then you're like, oh God, I shouldn't have said that. Which is part of the reason why people clip it, because it's funny. Don't worry, we can still dig up old clips. Oh God, I don't even want to know. Is this me choking on a Dorito? Oh God, what was my UI back then? Jesus. That was 4 years ago. That was in the infancy of Twitch. That's when we were babies on Twitch. Holy. Yeah, nobody needs to watch that one. I missed the green wall. Yeah, I think we've lived here a couple of years now, and I have not bothered to decorate this place at all. I really haven't. Oh, we're off. There's a clip about the sauna somewhere as well, possibly. The whole talking before thinking thing. Yeah, that's always problematic, that one. This is why it's bonus Wednesday streams. I'll often, because it's in the evening, I'll often have a few beers on a Wednesday evening while streaming, which I'm starting to learn is a touch dangerous. Because it lubricates the brain a little bit too much sometimes, if you know what I mean. And things fall out before I think about what I'm saying. It's going to get me in trouble one day. Hosepipe springs to mind. Hey, you created Hosepipe, not me. Use spectral sight ability. I don't know where I put that. Where did I put that? Spectral sight there. I've been told to use this a few times. I don't know what it even does. Allows you to see enemies and treasures through physical barriers, as well as enemies that are stealthed or invisible. Oh, I see. Here, especially for you. Oh, God. She says dumb stuff. See, this is what streamers do, you know. Streamers are clever, right? They'll say something that's really very softcore, but then somebody will clip it and send it to the other streamer, and then you'll get a reaction, and then that gets clipped, and then it bounces around, and then it ends up on LSF, and then somebody gets cancelled. It's just the way of the streaming world. It's entirely intentional most of the time. Anyone can post your clips as YouTube shorts. Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. Like, I have zero shits given about that sort of thing. If people want to take clips of my stream and put them on YouTube or do TikToks about them, or people do anything like that, I don't care. I'm old school enough to realise that it's all exposure, whether it's in context or out of context. Can I not fly yet? What point can we fly in this game? Can't you fly from level 10 these days? At least you didn't say, oh yeah, of course I fart, just as a raider you've never met before raids you. Yeah, I sometimes find, I sometimes find it odd when you get raids from people that you don't really know. Because you don't really know if they know you particularly well either. Often a raid is based upon somebody else in chat's recommendation, and it's always difficult to navigate that because, like, should I just be myself, or should I do an introduction, or what? I never know what to do. How do I get up there? I never know, Ogrimmar. For example, I got raided by WoW Grandma last week at some point. I'm almost 100% certain she didn't know who I was. But I think it was a recommendation from one of you guys that was in her chat. So, obviously, I fully appreciate it, but it was like, oh, okay. There's a bunch of people who are new around here. But she was pleasant. I said hello. At what point can I... Because this is going to take me to Dalaran. At what point can I actually peace out to the Dragon Isles and start truly leveling? Where's the... Where's the thing I'm meant to use? The Lost Dragon Scale used to teleport you. It says I've done it. Well, that's annoying, because I definitely haven't. And I don't have a thing to do it. Huh. Okay. Either way, I think, boys and girls, it might be time for me to leave it here for the day. I'm not able to stream quite as long today, as today's a bit of a bonus either way. I've got some IRL stuff I should get sorted, as it is the weekend. But Mr. J Sins is getting there. There's a chance I'll probably just blast him up to level 70 so that we can get him some gear and get him twinked out and get him useful. His job, his purpose in life is to allow me to boost these 4 accounts with some additional level 70s so that I can spread them out, sprinkle them across the realms for some realm hopping shenanigans, and of course to facilitate the already level 70s that we have to get more Mechanicas is the overall goal. But we'll continue that next week. Wow, Grandma is a treasure. Yeah, she's wonderful. She's a character for sure. An absolute gamer. It's crazy. Absolute gamer. She's got more stamina in this game than I have, and she's like older than I am. It's pretty impressive. But right, boys and girls, is there... Who's online? Where can we send you? Elon's online. Elon's online. Goldson's online. We could send you over there. For some goal-making chatter and natter. Elon's got face cam these days. He's exposed himself to the internet. There's no going back now. Once you're on camera, woo, it's game over. Maybe we'll send you over to Elon. Where's me buttons, all the buttons. Oh, there's literally an ad in progress. Boys and girls, thank you very much for stopping by today. I do appreciate it. Pushing me in the direction of doing something constructive rather than just AFKing whilst we wait for rares. The hell is going on here? Happy. Definitely not Bagoto. My man. There's some bonus gear for Mr. Sins when he gets leveled up. Love that shit. Thank you very much. Love that shit. Let me make sure I organise this and don't accidentally do something stupid with it. Wait, there's more? Holy, what is all this? My man, this is what you call streamer privileges, boys and girls. Should have done this off stream. A bonus Duskweave bag. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Mr. Sins is kitted out already by the looks of things. Love that. Thank you very much. What's that? That's a new woo piece of gear. My man. Added a bag for some quality of life. Thanks. Appreciate it. No, not the Musk variety. This is Elon CS. Goal maker. Swedish. All round very happy chappy. I'm not sure what he's up to right now. He's doing a little bit of farming right now. It looks like he might be doing the Alani farm. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, go say hi to him. Send him some love. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, boys and girls. I will catch you on Monday, where we'll continue this little adventure and see how far we can take it. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good one. Peace.